Welcome to the Stress is Gone show. I'm really excited to be here with you. Um, this week, we're going to talk about how to get to the source of your stress. But before we dive into that topic, I want to review last week's show. So, last week, our topic was it's not about the trigger, it's about the trauma. And we discussed how traumatic memories fuel everyday stress. And I shared a personal story about an issue that was plaguing me for 12 years as I was growing up into my mid to late 20s, and how that issue was healed by surfacing a traumatic memory from when I was 5 years old. So I walked into a session with an issue I had for about a decade, a little bit over a decade. And then I left that session an hour later and the issue was gone. Okay. So I want to share with you conceptually how that can happen and actually what happened. So the idea is during our formative years, when we experience a traumatic event, we form core beliefs and neural nets in our brain that shapes how we perceive reality. Our stress reaction tries to protect us from everything that looks like, smells like, sounds like, and feels like that original stressor from the original traumatic memory. That's why when we have issues with our parents, like let's say we have an issue with our father when we're younger as a child, as we grow up and become an adult, we may have issues relating to men. And if we had issues with our mother as a child, as we grow up and become an adult, we have issues relating to women. Okay. The cool thing is, as we heal that original traumatic memory, we break the cycle, we break the pattern. We're able to break free from all the stress and anxiety fueling the overreaction in the present moment. So, what happens when we do that? The trigger doesn't spark the reaction because the stress has no fuel. The reaction becomes a dud. If you're lighting fireworks, when you light one and it's a dud, it doesn't go off. That's what happens to your stress reaction. It doesn't spark because there's nothing to ignite it and there's no fuel to drive it. So the end result of that is you get to be more authentic in the present moment. So your wife isn't going to be triggering your issues that you had unconsciously repressed with your mother from childhood, right? Or if you were in a car accident when you were 15, it was very traumatic, and the other car was involving a yellow car, right? And every time you see a yellow car get close, you just unconsciously have an overreaction. So that stops happening, and you get to become more authentic in the moment. All right. So now let's jump into today's topic. How do we get to the source of your stress? I'm going to share a technique that I laid out in my workbook, The 3 Keys to Managing PTSD. It's in the second key. That key is called resolve the trauma. Okay. That's going to help you identify the details of your routine stress. And we're going to use that as a flashlight, right, to pierce deeply through your unconscious and subconscious mind to find those specific original traumatic memories that are fueling all of this routine stress. And the routine stress reactions, those are the most dangerous, right? If you're on a hike and you see, a bear, right? You have a huge stress reaction, but then the bear just kind of walks on by. Those stress reactions, we're meant to have those intense ones that come quick and then they leave. The most dangerous stress reactions for our health are the routine stress reactions. Those are the ones that happen day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out. And that's like long-term job stress, long-term relationship stress, long-term financial stress, long-term stress around health issues, anxiety, right? Things like that. Those are the ones that are really dangerous because every time we get stressed, over 1,400 reactions happen in our body. And those reactions, those chemicals, all that stuff causes diseases, right? So heart disease is the #1 cause of death in our country. Stress is the #1 proxy killer because stress is the #1 cause of heart disease, right? So just to kind of keep all that stuff in perspective and why we're talking about this. So once you have the original memory on the surface, you can release all the tension and repattern it with peace. And we'll discuss that on a different show, right? Right now, we're going to focus on How do we get to the source of the stress, the root of your reaction? So I'm going to walk you through at a high level the technique in the book. Okay. So I want you to think about a recent time you were really stressed out. Okay. So now if you close your eyes and play the memory from the beginning and pause it at the most high point of stress in the memory, right? Once you start feeling tension in your body and you feel the emotions, I want you to pause the memory. All right. So the first thing you need to do is identify the emotion that you're feeling that's fueling the stress. You can write it down. The second thing you're going to do is identify the thought, that simple thought that repeats in the back of your mind. Could be, I got to get out of here. I can't take it. When's it ever going to end? Why me? Why again? You write that down. Then you write down the location of the tension in your body. Now, you have the emotion, the thought, and the location of the tension. Is very important. I want you to look back on your life and ask yourself, what's the first time I could remember having this specific thought and this exact emotion together at the same time? Remember the question, what's the first time I can remember? Some people say, oh, I can't remember. That's not my question. Can you remember? That's not it. What's the first time you can remember having this thought, this emotion together at the same time? And you could put your hand on the area of tension while you're doing that exercise with your eyes closed. And then just skim back over the last 10 years to the most stressful moments, the most stressful experiences, any traumatic events, any relationships, any breakups, big arguments, things that happened, losing a loved one, right, over the last 10 years. Then you could leapfrog back even further, skipping across the most stressful times in your life until you get back to a core memory where it all started. Often in the coaching sessions, when I'm working with somebody, we go back to age 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's where primarily we go back, and we go back within minutes. If you're having trouble going back, you could just think about the house you grew up in, right? Go through the relationships one by one with your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, and something will pop up, okay, when you're holding that emotion and that thought in mind and that feeling, okay? So when you find that core memory or core relationship, you'll know it because it'll have a similar feeling. And that's how we go down the rabbit hole, right? We take the details of your routine stress, that's the stress that happens, day in and day out, and we use that as a flashlight to shine light through your subconscious mind, through your unconscious mind, to find the core original traumatic memories. Okay. Now I'm going to share a few ways that you could actually heal those traumatic memories, right? That's fueling your routine stress and anxiety. First way is the workbook, The 3 Keys to Managing PTSD. Okay. The second key, like I mentioned, is resolve the trauma. All right. If you would like a free copy of that, a free download, just email me at brett@brettcotter.com and I'll send you the link. You could also go to stressisgone.org, and if you scroll down, you'll see Get Free ebook. If you want to buy a hard copy of the book, just go on Amazon, look up Brett Cotter, and the book will pop up. And that's a great way to get the hard copy because it comes with a year of exercises, a year of journaling, and it comes with 12 stress assessments. So you could make sure your stress is going in the right direction, getting less and less and less and less. You could also download the Stress Is Gone app. There's a tab on there that says Resolve. Okay, Resolve is an amazing app. There's nothing like it. It brings you through the exercise that I just brought you through, but it kind of like automates it, and it guides you through 2 tailored meditations. First, it gets you to that original traumatic memory, and then it helps you release the tension and repattern the emotions inside that original traumatic memory with peace and self-love. And then it brings you to the routine stress. And when you get there after healing that core memory, when you think of the routine stress, it's like 80% less off the bat. It's amazing. The transformation is that quick. And then it guides you through another 10-minute meditation to unwind any residual pain, stress, anxiety from the routine stress memory. Um, and another really good way to go about healing it is to go to our YouTube channel and look up the meditations. Okay. You could hold the memory in mind, the original traumatic memory, hold that in mind, and lay down, put on your earbuds, close your eyes, and listen to one of the meditations. You'll find that the tension, the anxiety is just going to start to unlock and release from your heart, your throat, your abdomen, stomach, solar plexus, wherever the tension is, it'll leave you. So I encourage you to give that a try. It's a great way to unwind at the source and find your freedom from all the pain. All right. Um, if you want high touch, live one-on-one coaching, just go to brettcotter.com, click the coaching tab, and we could schedule a call usually within 48 hours. And other than that, we got that great retreat coming up at the Omega Institute, August 29th to September 3rd. It's going to be super transformative. We're going to be doing this work for 5 days straight. You're going to walk in with a ton of stress, and you're going to leave your authentic self. So I encourage you, if you're under a lot of stress, anxiety, tension, depression, you just feel out of balance or disconnected, get to this retreat. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be special. And it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I swear to you on that. I've been doing this for 22 years, and this is the culmination of all that work. So it's going to be awesome, and we'd love to have you there. Anyway, if you have any questions, email me, brett@brettcotter.com. Thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome day. Bye for now.